Hey, Western Heights family. I don't know about you, but I think one of the greatest inventions that has happened in the modern era is a little thing called Play-Doh. Most of you are familiar with Play-Doh. You probably played with it as a kid, and if we're honest with ourselves, you probably played with it as an adult. I know that whenever we get our kids Play-Doh, it's really so that we can play with it too, because there's something just absolutely enjoyable about Play-Doh. I mean, being able to mold something and craft it to make something new. I didn't have any Play-Doh in my office, which is a shame, but I did have Silly Putty, which is a kind of Play-Doh. It's got a few advantages from it. For one, like you can make it bounce, which is pretty cool, and other things. But you can still create whatever you want. And there's so many things to be able to do that. You just let your imagination run wild with all the creations that you can have with Play-Doh and Silly Putty and all these types of things. And I love seeing those creations, even if they're not good. I mean, I remember growing up trying to make certain things and maybe even going to my mom saying, "Hey mom, look what I made." And she has no clue what it is until I say, "It's an elephant." "Oh yeah, I see that," or you name it. The thing is, it's still a joy. And it's a wonderful illustration. In fact, before Play-Doh, there was clay. And people would still use clay to make things. The difference is whenever it dried, it was hard and that was it. Play-Doh at least allows you to play with it some more. But clay and Play-Doh have served as illustrations for years. In fact, in the book of Jeremiah, a word of the Lord is given to Jeremiah about clay. And in chapter 18, this is what it says of Jeremiah. It says, this is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. "Go down to the potter's house, and there I will give you my message." So I went down to the potter's house, and I saw him working at the wheel. But the pot he was shaping from the clay was marred in his hands. So the potter formed it into another pot, shaping it as seemed best to him. Then the word of the Lord came to me. He said, "Can I not do with you, Israel, as this potter does, declares the Lord? Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand, Israel." What the Lord was telling Jeremiah to teach Israel is that they are the clay. And the clay has someone who is molding it and is making it into what he desires. In fact, this will later be picked up by Paul in the book of Romans. And in Romans chapter 9, starting with verse 20, it says, "No, don't say that. Who are you, a mere human being, to argue with God? Should the thing that was created say to the one who created it, 'Why have you made me like this?' When a potter makes jars out of clay, doesn't he have the right to use the same lump of clay to make one jar for decoration and another to throw garbage in?" Now, I don't think Paul is saying that some of us are made as garbage. What he's saying is that all of us have a purpose. All of us have a beautiful creation. We are a beautiful creation. But the reason is because we have a wonderful creator. We have someone who is in charge, who is molding our lives even now. He's not done with us. He continues to stretch us. He continues to mold us. He continues to make us into what he wants us to be. And the hardest part is to remember we are the clay. He's the potter. We are in his hands. And so maybe our prayer needs to be, "Lord, shape us. Shape us as you desire. Help us grow in the ways that you want us to grow. Help us to be open to what you are doing in our lives." Because I'm clay. And the only way that clay can be of any value is if it's in the hands of the master.